To practice using the pen tool, we're going to make some hearts. The first thing I'm going to do is just clean up my artboard. I'm going to hit V to get my pen tool, and we're just going to scroll over everything and hit delete. And then I'm also going to put my swatches back by hitting this arrow, and now our artboard is all tidy and clean and fresh. When you're making shapes, you can either do them right the first time, or you can kind of get a general approximation of the shape and fix it later. Now, when you're more experienced, you can try to get it right the first time, but when you're starting out and even later, it's just a lot easier to get the general shape and then to fix it up. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to start by clicking, and then I can drag, and then I can click. Now I'm going to hold Option down so I can change the trajectory of the line, and then I'm going to make another point by dragging, and then I'm going to drag again, and now I have a heart. If that seemed complicated to you, it's because it was pretty complicated, and you don't need to be able to do that at the start. What we're going to do instead is we're going to start by just dropping points, and then we're going to convert them later. Okay, so when you do this, this is how you should try it. Instead of clicking, dragging, and trying to make sure that it's right, you're just going to drop the points you need, and then we're going to fix them later. So let's drop the first point, and then we're going to drop the next point, the third point, the fourth point, and we're going to close the shape. So you should have an upside down triangle with a point in the center. Now, we have all the points we need. Let's convert them. You can either go to the pen tool and find the anchor point tool, or you can hit Shift C, that's the shortcut. Now I'm going to drag out to make my first corner. Then I'm going to drag that way. I'm going to undo that. That would be Command Z, just to show you, because you might end up dragging this way and then you're dragging a loop. So if that happens, you just untangle it like that, and we have our rounded sides. Now I want to show you how to get this spade in the middle. Okay, that like pointed going in. Because right now, if you just compare these two, this one is just kind of simple, and this one's got like this nice little spade. That's because right now, this is just plain corner points. These are regular smooth points. So corner points, no handles, smooth points, handles. Now there's a second type of corner point, and that's a corner point that has handles. The difference between these type of the corner points with handles and the smooth points with handles is that smooth points, those handles, they are shared. So whatever I do to this one is going to change that one, and I change the whole line. But let's say this right here, and I'm just going to show you. Let's zoom in. These are both handles, but they're independent of each other. So if I move this one, this stays the same. If I do that, this one stays the same. That's what we're looking for to get this little divot. Okay, let me show you how to do that. Also, this isn't perfect either, so even when you try getting it right the first time around, you still end up needing to change it. So that's one of the best things, in my opinion, about Illustrator, is you can just continuously fix everything. There's nothing in Illustrator, there is no vector shapes that you make in Illustrator that you cannot alter and fix. Okay, so let's select this point. Now we're going to use the anchor point tool, and I'm going to drag out handles. Now this may originally seem like it's doing what we want, but it isn't. So let's hit undo. I'm going to do it again, because that wasn't a corner point. It was just a twisted smooth point. So I'm dragging out my handles, and now I'm going to use the anchor point tool to break the connection by dragging one. And see, now the other one disappears. I need to hit the letter A. That's going to get me my direct selection tool, and if I click on the point, I'll get that second handle back, and there we go. That's how we make our heart. I'm going to do it one more time, a little bit faster this time. And I'm also going to change these settings over here. So we can now let's make it a pink heart. We can change the settings. There we go, make it a little sweetheart. Okay, so we drop the points. Now I'm going to hit Shift C. That's true for both a Mac and a PC. I'm dragging out my handles. Okay, and now I'm going to make my corner point that has handles by dragging it out. And now I'm going to use the anchor point tool to drag out one handle, then I use the direct selection tool to get the other one. Notice the difference between this point that has handles, this is a corner point, and this is a corner point, but it doesn't have any handles. That's why it's not as interesting of a shape. It's a little flat. You can tell when something's a corner point because we'll have this little dot. See, these don't have that dot. That dot lets you curve the points. You don't really need to worry about it. It's just what it's doing there, and it is an indicator of it being a corner point. Now, if we wanted to make this one also more interesting, you could do the same thing. I just dragged out handles, and then I'm going to break the connection, and then I hit A so I can fix it. I'm going to hit undo because I just want to show you. If you use Shift C to get the anchor point tool back, and you drag that out, and then you try using the anchor point tool to get the other one back, you're just going to end up undoing your first thing. So when you're trying to get independent handles, you just want to hit A to get the second one. Okay, that's how we make hearts. Now you're going to make 3 hearts. I want them all to have different fills and strokes, just so that you get a chance to experiment. Now, let's look at how you save as a JPEG, because you're going to need to do that to have a JPEG to embed. So we already looked at file save as, right? We saved, let's make this hearts. Okay. And then we hit OK. Instead of hitting save as, this time we're going to go to export as, and you're going to export it as a JPEG. You can also export it as a PNG. Both of them will work in Canvas. But the difference here is that instead of going to save as, you're going to export as. This lets you choose the quality. I usually save them at 8. If it makes your file too big, you can go back down to medium. And that's what we're doing here.